Let's take a look at this before we go. In honor of Fire Prevention Week, the Dothan Fire Department recognized 4 members of their team at today's City Commission meeting. After receiving a proclamation from Mayor Mark Saliba, Deputy Chief David Hasty introduced these 4 men. Each was honored with a plaque for their hard work with the department. Firefighter John Hayes was nominated as Rookie of the Year. Firefighter Taylor Dixon earned the Firefighter of the Year award. Sergeant Jeff Donner was named Sergeant of the Year, and Captain Thomas Brown was awarded the Fire Officer of the Year award. Congratulations to these 4 men, and thank you on behalf of News 4 for all of your hard work. Such an exciting day for all of them.
That is definitely very cool.
I think so too.